In this video, we're going to go over some of the common pros and cons that you tend to hear about when it comes to living in Scottsdale, and I'll tell you whether I think they're actually true or not. So stay tuned. What's up, everybody? This is Greg Corbett with the AZ Lifestyle Group right here in Phoenix, Arizona. If this is your first time to this channel and you're looking to find out everything you need to know about what it's like living in and or moving to the Phoenix metro area, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. We are helping people from all over when it comes to finding the best place to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating and you need any assistance whatsoever, make sure to give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email. However you want to get a hold of us, we got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix metro. All right, so if you're thinking about making a move to Scottsdale or any of the areas surrounding it, chances are likely you've probably done a little research, maybe checked out some blogs or possibly even some other YouTube videos. So at this point, you probably heard a lot of opinions about it, some of which are totally true, possibly a few that are maybe a little questionable, and mostly a combination of both. So we're gonna take a few of the common pros and cons that you might be seeing and hearing, and I'll let you know whether they're fair and accurate. So let's get into it and find out what people are talking about. All right, so the first item on our list that we're gonna say is the number one pro and number one con listed is, of course, the weather. All right, so this is definitely the most popular pro and con that people list, which makes sense. And I would agree that it's probably one of the top things you need to consider before moving here. From the pro side, the weather is typically perfect for about 6 to 8 months out of the year. And if you like spending time outdoors, I think Scottsdale or anywhere in the Metro Phoenix area would probably be a great fit for you. There are a ton of great activities that you can enjoy all year round, and for the most part, you just don't have some of the same weather problems that most states do. Now, can the summers be grueling at times? Absolutely, but being in the dry heat does make a big difference, and if you really need to cool off, there are plenty of places within a short distance that you can drive to get out of the heat. Overall though, I'd say the pros completely outweigh the cons when it comes to the weather. Okay, on to the second pro I see a lot, which is there is lots of entertainment and things to do. Yeah, I would agree with this one for sure. Scottsdale is a big place, and there are plenty of great options of fun things to do, no matter what you're into. Now, back in my younger days, when I actually lived in Old Town, I'd say my favorite things were anything to do with going out day drinking or hitting up the bar scene, which was a lot of fun and probably still is a lot of fun today. But now that I have a little one, priorities change and you tend to look for some of the more family-friendly options, and thankfully there's a lot of those out there that are available to you as well. But either way, I promise there are plenty of entertainment options out there for you to choose from. All right, so let's move on to con number 2 I see, which is high season and tourist traffic. So as a con, I probably have mixed feelings on this one. Does our traffic increase quite a bit during our high season between January and March? Absolutely, and I would imagine there are probably a certain group of people that tend to be frustrated when getting around during that time. But for most of us, I don't think it's that bad, and it tends to be a huge boost to our economy here. And for me, I tend to love that time of year here where, I mean, you're going out and about, you're meeting people from all over, you start up conversations with people you've never met before that are, you know, all over the country, all over the world, and it just tends to be one of the best things I enjoy about being out during that time of year. So I get that the extra traffic can be a con for certain people, but for me, I'll take the upside. So let's talk about pro number 3 that I see, which is Scottsdale is super clean and well kept. Yeah, I mean, I think you definitely notice a difference when you're driving around in Scottsdale versus most of the cities in Arizona. They just have a higher standard when it comes to overall appearance and attention to detail. Everything from the streets to the landscape to the signage and the bike paths, there just seems to be a little extra pride that goes into it, so I would agree that it's definitely a pro. So on to con number 3, which are the labels. So I'm sure you've heard most of these before when looking around online. You definitely hear a lot about fake people and Snobsdale and 50K millionaires. It's definitely been a label that's been around for as long as I've lived here, and I won't deny that there is some truth to it. There are just certain people out there that don't have the most friendly persona for whatever reason. But I will say this, when I moved to Scottsdale about 20 years ago, I definitely had the same preconceived notion about what people were supposedly like. You know, back then I was shy and didn't think I would fit in, but what I found was there's a certain amount of prejudice you just put on people without getting to know them. But if you open yourself up and allow yourself to be approachable and cool to other people, then I think you will find that there are a lot of great people out there that match your personality. So yes, will you find a few people out there that you're just not a fan of? For sure. But I think the majority of people here are probably a lot nicer than you think once you get to know them. Okay, so pro number 4, the outdoor activities and desert landscape. Yeah, I definitely agree with these being a huge pro, and I group them together because I think they go hand in hand. The entire landscape is beautiful in Scottsdale, and there are so many great spots to get out there and enjoy it. Obviously, our golf courses are one of the main attractions here, and for good reason, but there are also a ton of great hiking spots you can find. There are a ton of areas throughout the city with great views if you want to get out on a bike. And then you have places like Bartlett Lake, which is right up near North Scottsdale, where you can get out and go boating or camping, fishing, water sports, whatever you can think of. So the options are limitless. Okay, so con number 4 that I see often, the desert wildlife. So this is one that I continue to see listed as a con, but I don't know if I fully agree with that. I think the basic premise is that you might see a few animals or critters out there wandering around your neighborhood or backyard that you need to watch out for. These are things like coyotes or javelina or bobcats, maybe rattlesnakes, potentially scorpions. And it's definitely possible to see all of these depending on what neighborhood you're in. And if you want nothing to do with them, I totally get that. I was stung by a scorpion one time. It wasn't fun, and I wouldn't want it to happen again. And even though you do need to be careful and cautious around all these animals if you ever run into them, for the majority of people, you're just not going to see them often enough to be listed as a major con, in my opinion. Now, some people might argue with that, but I just don't see it as a major issue. And for the most part, I just kind of like seeing a lot of the animals that are out there, maybe scorpions aside. All right, so pro number 5 on the list, which happens to be listed as a con on a lot of people's list as well, Scottsdale's a big party place. Okay, so Scottsdale definitely has a reputation for this, and I get that some people like it and some people don't. As someone who has enjoyed many of the events that Scottsdale has to offer, I definitely consider it a pro. But are there a certain amount of negatives to it? For sure. And the good news is, if you want to take advantage and enjoy it, you can. And if you prefer to stay away from it, that's pretty easy to do as well. But for as long as I've been here, I don't think I'll ever get tired of going out to the open or going to spring training or the Scottsdale Culinary Fest or any of the many parties Scottsdale has to offer. Like I mentioned before, these are great places to go out and meet new people, hear about where they're coming from, and just go have a good time in general. And trust me, my wife will tell you this, I'm not a big crowd guy, but there are certain things that even I will make an exception for. All right, so the last con on my list, but one that definitely gets a ton of attention online, is that it is super conservative here. You know, I see this come up a lot on social media especially, and a lot of people have questions and concerns about, which I totally understand, but the responses tend to be a little bit amusing to me. As someone who is opposed at people being lumped into specific categories or groups, especially myself, I tend not to engage in those conversations because it usually is useless. But here's my honest opinion about it. No matter what side you lean towards or what your point of view is, if you're respectful to people and you don't judge them, then they're not going to judge you. Now, don't expect people to agree with you on everything, but if you're polite and a good person, I think most people are going to embrace you. And that is exactly what I would tell anyone who's moving here. You know, personally, I enjoy talking to people with a lot of different beliefs, and I think most other people do too. So take that for what it's worth. All right, so hopefully our breakdown of Scottsdale pros and cons was helpful to you. From my point of view, I definitely think Scottsdale has a ton of positives and would be a great fit for anyone who's looking to raise a family, for anyone who's looking to retire, and anyone in between. But if there's anything you thought we missed, or if there's anything specifically that you agree with or disagree with, definitely feel free to leave a comment down below. We'd love to hear from you and get your take on it. Also, if you liked this video, but you want to hear about other cities around the Phoenix Metro and hear about their pros and cons, drop us a note in the comments below as well and let us know what areas you're interested in. We are doing a ton of videos to spotlight all the areas around Metro Phoenix, so if you think these might be helpful for you or anyone you might know who might be looking to move here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and click the bell so you can be notified whenever we post a new video. And as always, we are working with so many people when it comes to finding the best place to live here, and we absolutely love it. So if you're thinking about moving or relocating and you need any assistance whatsoever, give us a call, send us a text, shoot us an email, however you want to get a hold of us. We got your back when it comes to moving to the Phoenix Metro. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.